For the latest on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, we're joined now by Sarah Coates, eNCA's correspondent in Tel Aviv. Sarah, thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. We've heard the UN, the United Nations, asking Israel to rescind that evacuation order, those leaflets being dropped on the Gaza Strip this morning early, I believe. Has the Israeli government responded to that request?
Yes, hello. Well, look, it's actually made that deadline a little earlier. Originally, it was 12 o'clock tonight. It's currently 8:30 here on the ground. Just a short while ago, the IDF spokesperson in Arabic put out an announcement asking these Palestinians in the northern Gaza Strip that are supposed to be heading south or who've been asked to head south to do so by 8 p.m. local. Now, that time has lapsed, and look, we are seeing live vision coming through of Palestinians on the move, and they are using whatever means they can to get out of this area. They're in donkeys and carts. They are in heavy machinery with their belongings in the front of these diggers and so on, and they have cars with mattresses strapped to their roofs, some of them even walking south. So look, it really is a shocking thing to see just so many displaced people with really nowhere to go. There have been witnesses or people speaking to journalists on the ground saying they have no idea where they're going to sleep with their families or what they're going to eat. And we do need to remember that there is no electricity in Gaza as right now. Since this siege was put on by Israel, it means that these people have been trying to pack up their homes, what little belongings they have, in the dark, and they are simply walking through the night. So look, it is simply horrific. Israel is yet to decide what it is. Sorry, I just thought I heard a siren going off then. Israel is still to decide when and if this ground incursion, this large-scale ground incursion that has been so widely spoken about this past week, will happen. But what we can tell you is the IDF has just come out a little while ago to say that some localised incursions have actually been happening throughout the day. We know that troops have been going in and a number of tanks have actually gone into Gaza City, and the IDF says they have been looking for hostages, looking for information on the whereabouts of these hostages and just sort of mapping the site ahead of what is expected to be a large ground operation.
It seems unlikely that Israel would issue an evacuation order, give a time frame to that evacuation order, if they weren't planning to, once that time has run out, go ahead with that massive ground incursion that has been spoken about, as you said. But on the other issue that you've raised, these people have nowhere to go. Even though they're moving from the north to the south of Gaza, there is no way for Palestinians to leave Gaza at the moment. Are Israeli authorities or anyone in the Defense Force talking about that at the moment, that civilians have absolutely no way of protecting themselves?
Yeah, look, that is really the conversation that the international community is having at the moment. We are seeing so many displaced people, and we need to remember so many people in this enclave. More than 50 or 60% of the population there are youth. They're around 18 years old. So these people are growing up not having anywhere to live, barely any prospects, and they are just on the move with absolutely nowhere to go. We do know that these UN-run schools down in the south, they are already pushed to the limit. They are jam-packed full of people. Some people have obviously decided not to leave the north. Hamas actually came out after this notice was put out by the IDF, telling people that it was psychological warfare by Israel and to stay in your homes. We did hear some reports of Hamas actually blocking people from leaving, and we've also heard that there are a number of roads heading south that Hamas has put up blockades. So look, it is an absolutely shocking situation for these people there. The injury toll has already surpassed 6,000 people, and in reality, due to this blockade of the Strip, these people, large amounts of these people simply cannot be treated. We've seen pictures of them sitting out, lining up outside of these hospitals in Gaza City, and doctors say they simply do not have the resources to treat these people. They're saying if a humanitarian corridor from Egypt into Gaza isn't opened very, very soon, then these medical facilities, these big hospitals, which are currently running on generators and are very fast running out of petrol, will turn into mass graves. So look, even speaking about this, I'm getting goosebumps because the pictures that we've seen are horrendous. We get to sleep in a lovely warm bed tonight, you know, despite the situation, we are safe, but these people down there simply have nowhere to go, and it's honestly just heartbreaking.
On another issue, we spoke a little bit earlier here on eNCA to Human Rights Watch about the use of artillery-fired white phosphorus over the Gaza Strip on 2 occasions, on the 10th and on the 11th. Verified video footage of those, that use of white phosphorus in the hands of human rights. It's an incredibly incendiary substance, and the impact on people in such an urbanized area is horrific. Lots of international comment on the human rights implications of using that in warfare. Has, once again, the Israeli government responded to questions around this?
Look, we have seen these videos which purportedly show Israel using this, but just recently in the last hour, the IDF has come out to deny it has been using this substance. You know, we do know that it is, as you said, extremely flammable. It's dropped from the air in these bombs and is used to rapidly burn substances. But of course, when it comes into contact with people, it is life-changing. It can cause life-changing injuries to people it comes into contact with. Apparently, once it gets on your skin, it can burn down to the bone. So look, of course, there will be an investigation into this, into these reports. Israel denying this at this stage, but yeah, I can't really comment any more on that.
Any further exchanges in any other parts? At the moment, we know there was fighting on the border with Lebanon. What can you tell us in terms of an update?
Yeah, look, this northern area is certainly a real concern. Israeli authorities and really the world watching it extremely closely. The update from that border is there has been increased fire, cross-border fire from Lebanon and from Israel into Lebanon. In just the last hour, a Reuters journalist has been killed in southern Lebanon. We do understand that there was a big gathering of journalists down in the south covering clashes there. They were then reportedly hit by a stray Israeli shell. We do understand that one journalist, he was a camera operator working for Reuters, has tragically been killed, and a number of other journalists have reportedly been wounded. There is video circulating on social media showing their car being hit. So look, that will obviously be investigated, but we are also hearing that a number of Palestinian journalists in the Gaza enclave, since this broke out a week ago, have also been murdered. So look, it is tragedy all round. There's tragedy on the Israeli side, tragedy in Gaza, and of course for some of the people that are reporting this conflict. And look, it seems like it will drag on for a very, very long time. Both Hamas, it seems, has the weaponry. It's really slowed down its firepower with rockets in the last few days. IDF says that this is potentially to conserve what it has for a very drawn-out conflict. And the IDF is planning to get in to Gaza or do whatever it's necessary to root out Hamas and take it out of the Gaza Strip forever. So look, it really does look like this conflict is going to drag on for quite some time. And, you know, we are, of course, authorities are really worried that Lebanon and Hezbollah could be drawn into that. And this is the reason that we've seen so many diplomats here on the ground. This is the reason the Pentagon chief, Lloyd Austin, is here. He also did announce today that yet another aircraft carrier is steaming across the ocean right now to park itself there in the eastern Mediterranean. And, you know, this is put there as a deterrence to these other actors, these other players in the region like Hezbollah and Iran.
Of course, we also know that EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen also in Israel today. That is unfortunately where we're going to have to leave it. Thank you very much, Sarah Coates, coming to us from Tel Aviv. Of course, however long this conflict does drag out, the eyes of the world tonight will be on the Gaza Strip to see whether at 12 o'clock tonight, when that 24-hour warning runs out, Israel does move ahead with that ground incursion that has been spoken about so often throughout this week.